Oh man, life isn't easy, is it? Hi, my name is Woody, and I have a hard time completing tasks. I'm an Unreal Engine developer and filmmaker. That's why you're seeing me as an animated person here. While I have a million projects at any given time, some days it can be extremely hard to get myself off my butt and go ahead and actually accomplish something. Specifically, I find it hard to finish tasks that don't have to be done immediately. For this channel, I publish a lot of content. However, unlike my client work and things that have deadlines, there's not much incentive for me to keep on creating videos. How do I keep making content when I have so little incentive to do so? Why do I do anything? Why do I shower? Why do I sleep? Because I can just keep sitting around and imagining things and doing other stuff and watching Twitter and all that. But what if that wasn't the case? What if there were severe consequences? What if people got hurt? What if people died? Metaphorically, I mean, not like in a real situation. That would be pretty bad. Like in a game. Actually, exactly that. You may have heard this word a lot lately, gamifying. Probably from some corporate 9-to-5er bros who are all about synergy. It's often a talking point, but gamification is absolutely real. After all, there's a reason you keep scrolling, a reason you get a score on what you tweeted, and a reason you compare how many steps you took today with your friends. Unless you're me, and you're a developer and an animator, in which case, you're sunk. A couple of months ago, I was talking to my friend Julia on Discord, and we were talking about our favorite productivity apps. And suddenly, it hit me. What would happen if I tried to gamify my own productivity? What if I built some software that would do exactly this? What if I turned my daily life into an RPG? After all, RPGs are just like life. You have stats, and you have skills, and you have things that unlock things, and you can pick locks, and all sorts of great stuff. But a video game RPG actually really does seem to have a lot to do with life. Now, I've used some of these other apps before, these gamification apps for productivity, and I never really found the gameplay elements very compelling. If I made my own game, however, then I could make something that fit me perfectly and would create the exact kind of productivity standards that I want to live up to in my life. Which begs the question, what does it mean to be productive? It's time to hit the books. These are a few of my favorite books on productivity, which range from hokey 1930s advice to modern psychology and neuroscience. These books are some of my favorites when it comes to explaining the human condition when it comes to achieving what you want in your life. Unfortunately, this video is already doing a lot, so we don't have too much time to dig in here. I'm gonna go save you the sheer boredom of listening to me wax poetic about my favorite non-fictions for an hour. If I could describe ideal productivity in 4 words, it would be accountability, organization, flow, and balance. So accountability is an easy one. An even better word for accountability is consequences. What happens when you don't do what you say you'll do? Now, anyone who's ever had a job would tell you, if you have a boss and you tell them everything's gonna be done by Friday, and then it's not, you're gonna have consequences. And that's really all accountability is what happens when we don't do that thing. Who checks in on us, who's around, usually the consequence involves people. Organization, super key here. If we're not writing things down and we're not tracking things, how do we know they're getting done? If you do one task that needs you to do a follow-up task tomorrow, and you never write any of this down, how are you gonna remember what you're supposed to do tomorrow? We all have a bunch of stuff to do. One of the most important of these books is Flow. It's written by the now legendary psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Yeah, I know, that name looks crazy. It catalogs the idea about flow states, or what you and I might refer to as being in the zone. Flow is that thing that happens when we get really involved in what we're doing. You sit down, you start writing, and suddenly you just have 10 pages. That's how flow works. It's kind of magical. Flow also makes you better at whatever it is you're doing. You can think about it in real life as the condition that would allow you to get a higher critical hit ratio. Because not only are you spending the time doing what you need to do, you're actually putting yourself in the conditions to do your best work. And lastly, balance. If I make a program that actually does the first 3 things, I'm gonna set my own brain on fire with stress. Obviously, I'll run into problems if I try to design something that makes me 100% productive. One early idea I had was adding a feature that would replenish HP for any self-care activities that one completes in a given day. I put this feature into the very core of the game, because let's face it, we all know now that we can't do everything. I call this little game To-Do Dungeon. To play To-Do Dungeon effectively, you only need to do a few things. Make your daily to-do list, rate your tasks 1 to 3 by difficulty. 1 being an easy task, like taking out the trash, and 3 being writing a script for a YouTube video that is vastly expanding in scope and becoming way too hard to produce. It's this video. A level 1 task is likely to be done quickly and easily and forgotten about, and a level 3 task is likely to take a while. However, it is more likely to produce a flow state. The task rating's on the honor system. Next, multiply all your tasks by their rating and add them together. Any list that adds up over 15 is probably going to be impossible to get done in a day, so make sure you're at 15 or under in order to submit. Lastly, at the end of the day, put all this information into a form. Overnight, the form is converted into a video of all the gameplay that happens and sent to all the players via Discord. Each task rating represents a weapon that your character will use in an encounter, and each successfully completed task becomes a successful attack on your enemies. However, incomplete tasks turn into guaranteed hits for your enemies to take against you, and you won't necessarily know which of your comrades the enemies might attack. When you take too many hits, like any RPG, you're down. If you die, you're out for the rest of the round, and you won't be able to capitalize on your hard work. And if everyone dies, well, then you gotta start over. So that's great. That just leaves building the game. I already spend a lot of time building media in Unreal Engine, like virtual production videos and interactive CG VTuber content using Unreal's blueprint system. So the only trouble is, I've never built an RPG before. Oh well, how hard can it be to build an RPG in Unreal? So, actually, pretty hard. pretty hard. As long as we're talking productivity, I'll add a little gem here, and this one might be a Woody original. Probably not. One way to think about difficult tasks is to see them as a function of time rather than possibility or impossibility. Can you defeat a giant boss in the first hour of a game? No, definitely not. Can you defeat him 40, 60, 90 hours in? Much more likely, that's a yes. So making an RPG turns out not so much difficult, but slower than expected. An important early call I made was buying most of the assets I'd need from the Epic Games Store. The only 3D models I made for this game were a hat, a cane, and a piece of cheese. Early in the process, I built an IK control rig that I could use on all of the characters in the game to quickly create animations and then apply them across the board to all the players. This let me generate the animations I needed really quickly. So quickly that I didn't really even need to do mocap. So here's the thing, apps like these require databases. The tricky thing about this kind of game is that it requires some way for the players to give inputs and then memorize that input. I found this really cool plugin for Unreal 4.27. This plugin would let me just take in data via Google Forms. A version for Unreal 5 wasn't available then, and technically neither was Unreal Engine 5 itself. I like this plugin a lot, although it has a few issues. Occasionally Unreal would just crash, and it wasn't until later that I realized it was because I had a blank row in my spreadsheet, which is hilarious to me and perhaps only me, but that's fine. These days I have a really hard time getting into any project unless I learn a new technique along the way. This build pushed me as it caused me to introduce a save system, animation montages, custom structs, and GUI, all things that I had pretty minimal experience with. Now, no RPG is complete without the perfect party. Also, there's no reason to go it alone. If I make software that improves my life, I should probably share that software with others. What would be better than inviting some of the other VTubers I know and admire? Sapphire, Pixelfire, and Pumpkin Potion were so bold as to join me in this little experiment. They're all amazing streamers, and you should check them out. I also invited my little brother Dwight. He's not an avatarer, but he is working on a game dev project, and I thought it might help him a little bit with some of his goals. All right, hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
We have 3 different classes here. I think there's like a male and female model for each. There's different colors too. We have a warrior class, we have a scout class, and we have a mage class. The warrior is like a tank build. The mage is cool because the mage is powerful, and the mage can also bring healing back to the party. We have Pixelfire and Sapphire, and both of your characters are blue. Like I could definitely add some blue particle effects. Scout's not necessarily more impressive for attacking. It's got a medium amount of HP. Speed determines like the order of turn. So the Scout will usually get a first turn unless you're fighting some really fast enemies.
Now that you mentioned you could put some blue pixels on it, I think I'm gonna go with the mage.
Awesome. Do you want the wizard?
Yeah, one of the Gandalf ones. I like the black-gray one.
Then I'll probably go ranger then. I grind too much. So I think that'll assist me in keeping an eye on my health and making sure I take time for those things.
I've got to go with my tried and trusty for every RPG I play, and that's got to be a warrior. I am all about that big damage melee, go hard or go home.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll be mage then. Sounds like fun. I think I'm gonna be like the white wizard to counterbalance our gray wizard.
Oh, there we go. Dark
heck
and light.
yeah.
Hopefully this doesn't create some sort of blood feud between us, Pixelfire.
Cool. And lastly,
Yeah.
I'm going for the tank.
Woody
Yeah.
the warrior, the alliteration.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Wait, I'm Sapphire the scout, also alliteration. Yo, balance everywhere. Let's go.
So you guys are blue and have fire, and Dwight and I are brothers. So like, I was thinking we could be Team Brother Fire.
Yes.
If there's two things this game does, it's about not compromising yourself on your goals, and then also making sure that you take care of yourself in the process. Because here's the thing, guys, there's stakes to this. So if we all fail, the whole party fails, then we could play again, but we'd have to start over. So without further ado, here's my account of To-Do Dungeon. The game started Team Brotherfire out on the high seas, approaching a port in the kingdom of Enterpresia. A young man appealed to our fateful group, asking us for help in overcoming a goblin warlord named Slothgob, who had taken over the town's dopamines. Get it? Dopamines? The goblin's girlfriend, Leze, had put the entire village under a spell, making them lazy and leaving many citizens unshowered, eating only things from the microwave. For 3 weeks, we took our daily to-do lists and rated our plans for each day, clearing out goblins out of the realm as we did each task. The first week was easy for the most part, a little too easy actually. I ended up making a big tweak to the difficulty after our players entered the mines. I changed the way openings work so that it gave each enemy a guaranteed hit every time we didn't do something, which, suffice to say, as our enemies became more powerful, got pretty intense. Yeah, so how was week one?
Yeah, so far week 1, it's already showed me a lot about if you over challenge yourself, it can really cause you to suffer. And like, I already kind of like maybe knew that. Actually seeing it was wow.
I learned the same lesson you did, but I learned it Friday. So I tried to like patch the game pretty majorly, and I tried to finish and publish a YouTube video, and I tried to like cut another one, which was a terrible idea. I'm legitimately scared on Monday we're gonna find out. I'm gonna send you guys back Friday's data, and we're gonna find out that we all died. Which is embarrassing. It's so embarrassing because I made the game.
Watching when Sapphire just took the plunge, like the first death of the party. Before then, we all felt kind of invincible.
We kind of felt like we were invincible. And all that got shot down once we actually saw Sapphire die.
Even though for a minute everything seemed lost, we ended up using healing spells and landed back on our feet. Suddenly I was getting things done not just to fight, but to keep people from dying. The rest of the game wasn't perfect, and we took on more casualties, but we eventually made our way further in, healing with our mages as we went, and fighting an undead barbershop quartet, concentrating all our efforts, combining our tasks, until at last we won, beating Slothgob by just a couple of hit points. This game did indeed make me more productive, and not even by a little bit, by a lot. My wife can tell you about the times I ran around the house being like, I need to edit this video today or Sapphire is gonna die. Not only did I get more done and become more productive during the game, I also got to rub shoulders with my amazing VTuber friends.
I thought To-Do Dungeon was pretty cool. I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Getting to see task scheduling mixed with gameplay, I thought was really cool. And it was a unique experience. I loved being a part of it.
First of all, I love the skeletons. I love the skeletons so much, and they need to be a staple. The game for me was actually pretty fun. My party members drive me up the wall. I love them. But if you have an entire party behind you that depends on you taking the trash out, depends on you getting that task done, you're more likely to complete it because you have their fate riding on your procrastination.
For me, it helped me to kind of realize when you're doing too much and the importance of not just like loading on a million things onto your days every single day, but instead being strategic. I would give it a 2 thumbs up rating, personally.
So what you now must be thinking is, gee, Woody, that looks awesome. Great job, the game turned out nicely. When are you gonna release the app? You're right about that. I should probably release an app. However, once again, it's not something that's so hard to do, but it is a function of time. There's a lot of things that would need to happen for TDD to become its own high-quality app. I'm in conversations right now about the future of To-Do Dungeon. I'd really like this game to become an app, but it's going to go through some stages first. If you want to play To-Do Dungeon right now, the good news is that you absolutely can. The events of this video is mostly about the early access version of the game. We still need some semblance of an alpha and beta test stage. So I'm gonna open one up. I'll be playing Campaign 1 of To-Do Dungeon again with anyone who wants to join over at my Discord server. If you've been following this channel for a while, you probably already know that most people who follow me are also really interested in building their own amazing CG experiences, like games or virtual avatars, or just 3D generalism. If that's you, you should join on. This will be an amazing way to keep track of your goals. You can use To-Do Dungeon for whatever you want, whether you're just like making content or trying to make your bed every day. I'm personally going to be using this playthrough as a way to finish a short film that I've been putting off for months. This time I'll be playing a mage and looking at how to use my project tasks to support my team. This campaign will begin on May 15th and it will be absolutely free. Join our Discord and check out the To-Do Dungeon channel to get signed up. You should join on now, as in the future, playing To-Do Dungeon is something that I'll likely want people to pay for, because, you know, it took a lot of time to make. It'll either be through a service like Patreon, or it'll be its own dedicated app. So check out the Discord server. Also, feel free to subscribe for more content like this. I've been posting a tutorial series on how to make avatars like myself and import them into Unreal Engine, all free software by the way, and then talking about also how to hook them up with commercially available mocap solutions. It's amazing. There's so much going on right now.
Okay, so the developer doesn't want you to know this, but listen, if you get in, you write /commands, you get all of the developer commands, okay? You can ragdoll, you can kill, you can set your HP max to whatever you want. Also, there is a special code, down, down, up, up, down, A, B, left, right. You type that, you get into the dev mode, okay? You can unlock anything you want. You have full access to all of the models, all of the meshes. You can change your character model. Oh, they're coming. I gotta get going. They're coming for me.
I'm gonna get you.